What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Today is Sunday. We're gonna freestyle it today. I really didn't have nothing to talk about. But the first thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I thank you. Thank you. You don't have to tune in, but I thank you, man. I want to thank regular gun guy for letting me jump on his live first and let me be myself. I also want to thank Billy from My Five Family, who is my thumbnail designer and the person that did my Bulletproof Sunday logo. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And also to my moderators, I'm sorry. Shayna Ewing, Carbon Q, Ghetto, and where's my other one? Guns and Barbecue. Thank you guys, man. Without you guys, man, this would not be successful in doing what it's doing without you guys. So I definitely want to give you guys your flowers while you're here. And thank you guys. Thank you guys, the veterans. Thank you guys for your service. Thank you guys for sacrificing your life to make sure we can do what we want to do and do and live the American dream, as they say. I definitely want to say shout out to Shannon Ewing and Jason Ewing, who are veterans. Thank you guys for your service. Thank you guys for always rocking with me. DJ Play Nice, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you for stopping in. Shayna Ewing, which is my moderator, thank you. Pimp named Slickback, what's going on, pimping? And we're going to get to a couple people in my family that I know that's served in the armed services. My uncle, thank you for your service. I know my uncle so far. Let me get in here. December 12th, I have surgery, so I don't know if I'm going to go on the weeks that I am going to be out for work. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to go live. My surgery is December the 12th. So I don't know, after December the 12th, I might mess around and not go live for them 6 weeks. I don't know. I am going to be down due to my surgery. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to get to a certain person. And I don't know why I can't all of a sudden forgot how to work my dang on iPhone. I'm not upgrading no storage on this regular device. I hate Apple because they always want you to buy something. I'm so ready to go back to Android. All right, y'all. Let me find this picture of a very special young lady to me who is a 20-year vet who has retired from the U.S. Army, which is my beautiful mother. She is a veteran. She served in the U.S. Army. I think she retired about, I want to say, close to about 4 years ago. So shout out to you, Mama. I love you. Shout out to you, Ma. I love you. That's my mama. 20 years in the U.S. Army. I love you, Ma. I'm going to call her later on once I get off this line. But, I don't know, y'all. Let's chop it. Everybody, when you get on here, please say Happy Veterans Day to the veterans that's tuning in. Give it a thumbs up for the veterans in the chat. Everybody, just put a thumbs up, just to recognize the veterans that have served, the ones that have fallen and lost their life in battle. So rest in peace to the veterans that lost their lives in some type of war. So yeah. We're gonna get to. I've been listening to people talk about Charleston White, talk about Kanye, and now Michael. I mean Kyrie Irving and his situation. To me, it does freedom of speech come with a cost. Uh, what do you guys think? I think a certain some of us are held to a higher standard when we do stuff. And I was listening to Stephen Stephen A. something. He's a sports broadcaster, uh, and he was talking about how and I think it's crazy what they got Kyrie doing in order to get back to the Brooklyn Nets, and it's crazy how black athletes are held to a higher standard and get punished when they do something compared to our counterparts when they do something. And I'm not turning this into a race war, but you gotta understand where the frustration comes in with us when we say something. And like Kyrie, he's getting drugged through the mud. Okay, y'all wanted him to apologize. He didn't do it at first. He turned around. He finally did it. Um, do I condone what he did? And is it right? No, it's not right. But he could have did it in a different way. And don't. My thing is, you doing all this for him to get back on the team. My thing is, he didn't apologize. He didn't serve his 5 game suspension. Which y'all did not pay him for his 5 game suspension, so he's not getting paid. So he's not making money. And y'all want him to do A-Y to Z. Y'all want him to do extra steps in order for him to come back and be with the team. My thing is that's a little bit excessive when it comes to joining the team. I hope Kyrie learned his lesson. You know, it's you have to do your research before you post stuff, because freedom of speech is not freedom of speech in this country, and I'm noticing that with a certain race that once we say something, we lose everything. So we got to kind of be a little bit more careful on how we articulate our frustrations or how we feel about certain things. So, and I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to do it to one, do it to all. Don't don't do it to one set of people and then turn around when somebody else do it. We're not holding them to the same standard. Um, Kyrie, I don't think he is a. I don't think he's what everybody think he is, and the reason why I say it is because what he's done for the community. I don't think that his character does not say that he's an anti. What is it called? Y'all know what it is. Anti. What they call it. So I don't think he's that. I just think he did not understand what he posted, and you know he had to get an understanding of what he posted. And I don't think he meant no harm. I think he was trying to defend his race, but you did it on the back of another race. And you know, it's just like saying, you know, he lazy, so all black people are lazy. We can't do that. Now, if you had a bad experience with a Jew, then that's something different. If you had a bad experience with a black person, then that's different. But you don't bundle everybody in the same category. So we got to be careful. It's freedom of speech, really freedom of speech in the United States, because it seems like certain people are paying the cost. Or anti-Semitic. That's what Semitic. That's what it is. Semitic. I said that all wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying. But he's not. He's definitely not. He just tried to prove a point, but end up using the wrong reference to prove that point. And now that he's served his 5 game suspension, he's not getting paid for them 5 that he's been suspended for. So first of all, you took money out of his pocket. You're suspending him for 5 games. And he has done a public apology, which that's what y'all wanted in the first place. He stood on what he thought was right, but he has came back and he has apologized. whether it's sincere or not, you will never know. You never know the heart of a man in the inside. So, you know, most people halfway apologize anyway. So, but I'm not. That's not me here for me to near. That's not me for to me to judge. But I just know that he has apologized. He has served his 5-game suspension. He's not getting paid off them 5 games. So he had money taken out of his pocket, and I'm hoping that he's learned his lesson on that. We can't, unfortunately, freedom of speech for us is not freedom of speech. We pay a hell of a cost, and you don't let nobody trick you out of your position because, and I love that because um, Tackleberry Bug says that all the time. Um, you got to understand that the world that we're living in, and as black males, we are held to a higher standard than others, and unfortunately, sometimes that higher standard is not fair. Um, what's up, Jackson Ewing? Thank you for your service, brother. Life in Baton Rouge, what's going on, brother? My Tackleberry Bug Nation, brother. But what do y'all think? I'm gonna drop this link. Do y'all think that freedom of speech is really freedom of speech in the United States? And do you think that certain people, if they say certain things or post certain things, that they are held to a higher standard than most? What's up, fat guy with guns? That's it. Fat guy with guns said it. I don't think freedom of speech is freedom of speech here in the United States. And I tell y'all this, it just came out that Brett Favre, who used to be the world famous for being the Green Bay Packers quarterback. And I just found out for the state of Mississippi, and Mississippi is the poorest state in the United States. And he's took welfare recipients' money to build a stadium that his daughter used to play soccer or volleyball in. I believe that's what it was. They are investigating him now and figuring out if he's going to have to pay that money back, which I think he should pay that money back. Because how are you taking from the unfortunate to build a stadium where you have made billions and millions of dollars playing football? Why you couldn't get nobody to sponsor your a stadium? I think it was $3.5 million stadium or something like that he built off the backs of the poor people in one of the poorest states in the United States. So I'm waiting to see what they're going to do to him. And mind you, I was a big Cowboys and Green Bay fan growing up. So I want to see what they're going to do with him. And are they going to hold him accountable for the money that he took to build a stadium off welfare recipients? What do y'all? I haven't heard anything other than the first wave of it. I haven't heard anything other than when they first reported it. What are they going to do about that? And that's what I mean by put everybody on the same pedestal, because if that was a black person that embezzled millions of dollars to build a stadium for his son or daughter, would you be so quick to prosecute us? And the only reason I say it is because I haven't heard anything else other than the first report that I heard about him and taking from welfare recipients to build a stadium that his daughter played volleyball in. So my thing is, consequences need to be held for everybody across the board equally. What's up, chopping with Chin? My bad, brother. I messed your name up for a minute. Howard J, what's going on? Jason Ewing, fat guy with guns. And I just use that as an example because I I just I don't think everybody is held to the same standard when it comes to freedom of speech, or if we do something that they do. You don't eat spaghetti? I'm gonna make spaghetti sausages. It don't matter. So we definitely have to, look at. You have to go look at what's going on uh, with freedom of speech. But like I said, I don't think freedom of speech is free. I think certain people pay a cost, and a hell of a cost, when it comes to certain things, especially freedom of speech. What's up, Jovan Q? Everybody coming in now, but but I do believe that a certain democrat of people, freedom of speech comes with a consequence. And you have seen it lately with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving and Charles White. But how many of our counterparts that came out and said something has nothing been done, and we lose? And that's a lot of money for that man to lose. And I don't think he's gonna be a Brooklyn net next year. I really honestly don't think they're gonna I don't think they're going to I think they're trying to demasculate Kyrie Irving because of the things that he has to do publicly, what they have put out. No idea. No idea how to. What's going on, how to? But you know, we have to. We definitely have to look at what's going on around us and the cost what's going on, Patrick, and the price that we are paying for freedom of speech. We're paying a hell of a cost. And Kyrie right now, I'm always believed, and my mama was hot tub. That's another veteran. Thank you, brother, for your service. But we have been paying a hell of my mom was a correction officer back in the day, and we always say, once you go to prison and you get out, we always say, man, he served his time, so let him give him a second chance. And for a lot of men and women that have served not served, I'm sorry, but has been incarcerated, don't get that second chance. We continue to judge them, and that's kind of what's going on now with the freedom of speech with certain people. I believe in, once you serve your time for that particular crime that you've done, then hey, he served his crime. He served his time, and that's the same thing with Kyrie Irving. He served his time. He did his 5 games without pay. He didn't apologize. Whether it's sincere apology or not, I don't know, but I'm not gonna hold that man, and I'm not gonna judge that man on if I think that his apology was sincere or not. Only he knows if it's sincere or not. Really, to tell you the truth, nobody knows if he's sincere or not. So you can't do that. I'll take it, girls. Jason driving like a bat out of hell. Shayna. So, if y'all want to jump in, y'all can jump in. I'm gonna hit this link again. We're talking about, is freedom of speech really free? Think about that. Certain people, they say freedom of speech. Now, if you do it wrong, do I have a duty or do I have the right to say, hey, you kind of went about that a little wrong, and let it go. Anti-Semitic, I don't think he is. He never shown me. As far as I've been following the NBA. Only thing I've seen him do is do nothing but good, building homes for people and giving back. So I don't think that he's anti-Semitic. I just think he put the link up to kind of fight for his race and not understanding, or maybe understanding, or maybe not doing the research before he put that film up about the Jews, and that he made a mistake on. So I encourage anybody, before you put anything up, make sure you do the research on whatever link or whatever you decide to put up, to make sure that is what you're trying to say, rather than getting prosecuted and having to wear that stain in society, not letting you not letting that go, or let that go. So I just do your research before you throw anything up, especially our athletes and people that's in the public eye. Just make sure you know what you're putting up before you put it up, so you won't have to later on apologize for something that you did not intend for it to say, or for it what not to intend what it meant. So you make sure you do your homework. And I agree with you, Baton Rouge, but like we said, it's freedom of speech here in America. Really, freedom of speech. Because I say that because certain people, and especially as an athlete, a lot of these athletes don't save for their future. And when you don't save for your future, you see a lot of these black athletes they're financially in ruins because nobody taught them how to save. When you're a basketball player, when you're a football player, you don't plan for your retirement. And a lot of them are getting gypped by their agents. They don't know money. They don't know how to, when you get that type of money, you got to learn how to manage that money. And you got a lot of people managing money for you, and you don't know what's going in or what's going out your pocket. And about time you realize it. And I give you an example. What's going on, fat guy?
What up, Skilly?
Natumbo, one of the greatest centers of basketball, was getting gypped. And by the time they realized it, some of the NBA players donated and gave him some money, because he had no money left after he got out the NBA. So, and that's Kyrie. That money he's losing is generational money that he's losing right now. And that's the reason why I say, is freedom of speech really freedom of speech here in the United States? Because you pay a hell of a cost. And he's paying a hell of a cost because he's lost money with the Celtics. He lost money with, I think, the Cavaliers. And now he's losing money with the Nets. That man has lost, I think somebody said, over $300 million in revenue.
I don't know if it's 300 million, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. He's a loss.
I don't want you to misconstrue what I said when I say freedom is not free. Freedom of speech is not free. When I say freedom of speech is not free, it's not that you can't say what you want. I want you to understand the context of what I'm saying.
Right.
I can walk up on Hot Tub and say, hey, you black bearded motherfucker, I can't stand you. Now, there's a chance Hot Tub might smack the shit out of me. That's the cost. That's the cost of my free speech.
Right.
That was the cost for it. It's just like somebody walk up on me and say, hey, you big fat black motherfucker. I just decided in my mind I'm going to smack the shit out of them. Right. It just paid the cost. And then I have to understand what my cost is for smacking the shit out of them. I might have to pay something for that. That's what I mean when I say freedom of speech is not free. Also, because some guys went over, once again, shout out to the veterans. Some guys went over some foreign lands and died. And so even guys who died on this soil, so I can be able to be free and say what it is that I have to say. That's what I mean when I say freedom of speech is not free. There's a cost to pay for it. Because you can say whatever you want to say, but the only people that are not supposed to actually do anything to you for saying what you want to say is the government. Because your protected freedom of speech is basically to address government. People forget that also. People don't understand the way that works. So I can say whatever I want to say to another person. I can, but there are consequences to that. And that's what people always forget about. I can say whatever the hell I want. You can, and I'm with you. But if you say the wrong thing and someone beat your ass, that's on you. There's a price. There's a cost to pay to that. I don't disagree with what Kyrie and them did. I believe they should be able to say and say whatever they want to say, even if I don't agree with them. And some stuff I do agree with. Some stuff I think is silly strategy because you know the system that you're in. But I wonder if those guys understood those consequences too. That's the thing. I don't know. Kyrie might have said what he said. He's like, whatever. I'm gonna accept the consequences. I don't care. Kanye the same way. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna say what I want to say. But that's why freedom of speech ain't free, man. You gotta pay the consequences for your
Zach. Nobody can tell you what Kyrie said. He didn't say anything.
I know he didn't. All he did was put a link. I think they're doing him wrong. They're doing him wrong.
They doing it wrong.
Because he wasn't bending the knee to what they wanted. That's why he's peace paying, of course, because he wouldn't bend the knee to they wanted him to say, because you can't say anything against Jewish people in this country. If you do, you anti-Semitic. You talk about the Israelis over there fucking treating the Palestinians like South Africa, like apartheid. If you say some shit against that, you anti-Semitic. That's bullshit. They make everything anti-Semitic. But if you sit around and you call a motherfucker a nigga, or you say they welfare people living in the ghetto and shit, nobody don't say shit about that. That's why I don't be trying to hear that whole anti-Semitic bullshit. There are some real motherfuckers who want some Nazi shit that don't like Jewish people. But with other stuff, I be like, fuck all that. It's just stuff because they want you to bend to a certain power structure.
Well, they weaponizing the economy. That's what they're doing. Yeah. They know that they don't want to sign your checks. As long as they sign your checks, you be holding to what they say the rules are. Now, there are ways to combat that. We can combat that. Okay. Right. Want to put Kyrie in this situation? Nike, you want to drop him? We don't buy no more Nikes. We your big consumer base.
We are. Absolutely.
Adidas too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what they said, essentially what they said, they don't say it correctly, but they're not wrong.
No, they're not.
There's no such thing.
If you
follow under their doctrine, they consider themselves Semitic people. Semitic people encompasses more than just Jewish people. There's Jewish, Arabs, different type of Middle Easterners that are all considered Semitic. They speak a Semitic language. Semitic language are the languages of Abraham. So what they say, they didn't say nothing wrong. No. And that's what people got to see. Just because you call me anti-Semitic does not mean I'm anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And that's just
you don't control what I consider myself. What religion
they try to use that to basically, like you said, as a power sort of thing. And if you say anything against it, you anti-Semitic. It's just like, and I'm going to say this because we're talking about this. It's just like if I say a person has the right to live any lifestyle that they want. Right. They do. I'm talking about if you want to be gay, transgender, whatever you want to do. That's what you want to do. But when I draw the line that no, you can't teach my son that's right because I have a certain belief or whatever, then I'm not homophobic. I'm not transphobic. I'm a guy who just thinks that you shouldn't teach my son some shit that I may not agree with.
Exactly.
You used to be able to do that type of shit. This is America. I'm supposed to be able to have free thought, free speech, and everything.
Especially for my child.
It's the same sort of thing because if anybody looks at, let's say Hollywood, for instance. Look at the history of Hollywood and how Hollywood got started. The Jews started that motherfucker.
Gangster Jews.
Gangster Jews. And they run that motherfucker. Now, that's part of their history they may not want to acknowledge because they don't want to acknowledge the bad part of the shit that they did over here being gangsters and shit. But the truth is the truth. You can't say the truth anymore nowadays because if you do, somebody's feelings going to get hurt. I'm just at that right enough age to be like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak the truth. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. The truth is the truth. It don't change because you don't like it because it hurts your fucking feelings. It's still the fucking truth.
And that's why I say it's levels to it because the cost that the price that he's paying, like I said, if you're going to suspend him for 5 games, suspend him for that 5 games. He's not getting paid. He has came out and apologized. Why does he have to go through this extra shit in order to get back on the court? You're demanding
because they want to sun that brother. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, you got to
it's about it's not just about you showing being apologetic. It's about you showing that they're in charge. It's about you just a boy on the plantation, basically. Still, that's what it's about. It ain't about nothing else.
Where's the players union in all of this? And see, that's where
they are going to appeal. I did heard that the Players Association is going to appeal.
How many days later?
That's what I heard. Right, and that's true.
Immediately when that got posted and leaked that they had these 6 criteria that he had to meet. They should have immediately gone into action because Adam Silver is setting a dangerous precedent for the league. And since we weaponizing economies, since that's what we own, we the biggest consumer base. When we go get our heads out our ass, and Tony, weaponize our buying power.
And Tony, you know that's a whole other
that dovetail right into that.
It does. I totally agree, but that's trying to get that to happen. It would be great if we just like listen. We ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do. It would be great, but it just seems for some reason that can't happen with us.
What I'm seeing though, out of all of this, I do like the fact that when Barkley, Shannon Sharp, who else, LeBron, and all of them came out speaking against Kyrie, you had they met an instant backlash. Instant backlash from their community, from our community.
Right.
And as well that they should. Because
we're the only community that doesn't seem we won't protect each other. Exactly. I don't care. Even if they didn't agree with what he said in the open, they should have said that shit behind the scenes to him.
Don't say nothing at all. If
I'm saying
they got an issue with what he said, let the Jewish community go at him.
But I'm saying
to go at him.
I'm saying that if they just felt that they had to say something, my thing is staying on code. Staying on code means you don't say shit out in the public. Keep family business in the house for family business. So if you felt some kind of way, even if you were like, yo, Kyrie, man, I don't disagree with you, but bro, you shoving shit and did like out in the public or whatever. You do that behind the scenes. You don't do that out for everybody else to see. You still want everybody to see me on the same page. Even if in public, we need to all be on code.
Right. And then behind doors, we got a disagreement. Let's go this door behind doors.
Right. I don't like Kanye. I'm not a big fan of him.
I'm not neither.
They pulled a move on Kanye that they have never pulled a move.
Yep.
When a bank can tell you, and I'm surprised he ain't sued them by now because that is totally against the law. The bank told him to move your money out. Okay. Did you do that to Donald Trump when he made anti-Semitic?
That's what I'm saying.
To Steve Bannon when he made anti-Semitic?
No, I'm saying.
Did that to the myriad of other white folks. Anti-Semitic comments or any group of people, because it ain't just white people that don't like you.
That's what I'm saying.
Done that to anybody else?
Nope.
Now
held to a different standard. That's what I'm saying.
He should sue them for that.
He should sue them for that.
Take your money out just cause we just don't like you no more. That's discrimination.
That ain't got nothing to do with my business. What you don't like?
I don't have no. And I've said this before. How other groups of people handle give you repercussions for disrespecting them. Okay, I ain't got no problem with that. As long as we can do the same.
Same thing.
Right.
Exactly.
So it should be a price paid anytime anybody non-black says the word nigga.
Yep.
I agree.
And if we're gonna play that game, but see the society don't want to play that game with us.
No, they don't.
No,
and we scared to play it without we scared to play
we the only people that you're allowed to shit on.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that you're allowed to shit on, and it's okay. And if we say anything about, hey, don't shit on us, stop hitting us, you got to get over that.
Oh, we're
the only people that you can do that to.
And then we're violent at that point. Get violent. They just.
I don't get about their criticism, bro. We just have to get on code, like Zach said, and develop an or else. If you do this is gonna happen. It has to be. We have to have a repercussion mechanism in place. We actually do have a repercussion element in place, but we refuse to use it.
Yeah.
You
and our money is.
You are correct.
Our money. What we choose to spend our money on.
We are the poorest rich kid on the block.
Oh yeah.
We don't know how to use it.
Nope.
That's
but I want to hit on what you just posted from Southern Belle. She's right, but I'm gonna say this in the case of Kyrie Irving. He didn't say anything. He didn't represent the movie. He didn't endorse the movie, good, bad, or indifferent. He just posted a link. Now, millions and millions, billions of people post links every day. And if you don't agree, if a certain group of people don't agree with the links you post, should they be treated like Kyrie? See, that's a slippery slope, that moral clause that they put in there.
Yeah.
No, you need to start specifying, because if that's the case, let's apply this across the board. Because things that Brady posted, that can be questionable, that a lot of athletes that are not black have posted that can be questionable. So that they don't want to play this game. And the pushback that the NBA is getting, because the NBA and Adam Silver in particular, now he rolling back on what he said. You was real, full of piss and vinegar when you came out with it. But you seeing the backlash from your major customer group, which is Black America. We consume sports more than any other group of people. So now that they're seeing that, you're going to be in the same situation the NFL was with Kaepernick if you keep on with us. So that's us putting in an or else. If you do this, you're going to acquiesce to what we said, or else.
Well, the good thing is, Tony, that you see them. I mean, you see the backup. You see them stepping it back. So it does mean that somewhere in there's something that's being affected. That's the good thing by it. You see him backing up, and hopefully they'll give him his money back. Is what I hope, because they shouldn't have took his money away. Especially if you shouldn't have to have 6 some sort of criteria list because you posted a link.
Well, Zach, you from New York. You from New York, and I'm gonna tell y'all something that people ain't seen behind the scenes on. New York just came out with that ruling. That judge came out with that ruling that everybody that was laid off during the pandemic, they got to give them their money back and they got to rehire them. Kyrie Irving fell into that same situation. He was suspended by the NBA
because he wouldn't get a vaccine.
Well, they owe him millions of dollars. Then you ask yourself, why did they choose to go after him now? And a lot of people say it's because of the Kanye's comments. Could be.
You think they're trying to recoup? They're trying to recoup their
money. That's what it is.
And I don't put it past them. That's the type of stuff they do. When I say them, and I say they, I'm talking about the system. So people, like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the system. That's the type of stuff that the system does.
But I mean, like I said, I don't separate groups. I hate most groups. I hate y'all all the same.
You're equal opportunity hater.
Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity hater. I hate every group of people. I'm not a people person, man. So I know it seems like I am. On the individual basis, I love everybody on the individual basis. But as groups, I can find a reason to hate any group as well as anybody else. I don't have no problem with groups hating me and my group.
Right.
Just as long as you don't harm us.
Yeah.
You can have whatever views you want of us. I don't care. You can call me whatever. As long as you don't call me that to my face, you won't no repercussions.
Exactly.
But don't cry foul when I do the same.
Right.
Exactly.
That's all I ask. Let's apply fairness across the board.
Across the board. That's it. And that's what I'm saying. We seem to get, hold to the highest standard, but everybody else can do what they want to do. And that's why I say, is it really in America freedom of speech free?
It's because in America, the system still views us as property. They still view us as chattel. That's why they brought us here, and that's how they view us. They view us as property. And even the ones of us in our community that have attained something and have become rich. Because I look at rich and wealthy to be different things. Wealthy is super generational, where you got rich and wealthy is different. But even some of our brothers and sisters that have become rich, they still treat them a certain way. Even when you look at like a Bill Cosby, no matter what he did, Bill Cosby had real wealth. They liked him. As soon as they decided that he wanted to control something that they don't want you to control, they did him dirty too. He got his nigga wake up call.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Regardless of how you feel about Bill Cosby, we should not have let them dogpile on Bill Cosby.
I agree.
That is the slippery slope that we are seeing now.
I agree.
When we have grievances with another community, we have to go to that community and ask them for justice.
Right.
That applies, and on the micro level, that's on the macro level with rich, famous people. Even on the micro level, you can't go on a reservation and arrest anybody. You got to talk to people on that reservation.
You got to talk to the reservation police. That's right, the tribal police.
You can't go into Chinatown, and I'm gonna go into other different groups. I just base it here in Atlanta. We have our version of a Chinatown. They don't even let black officers too tough in there. They have to have a counterpart from that community before they go and execute any kind of arrest in that community. That's African communities out here. That's the several different Asian community, and even the Hispanic community.
That's how it is in New York with the Hasidics.
And that's how it should be for us as well.
You can't go into the communities and just do whatever you want. They call the community leaders and say, "Hey, what's going on? We coming in there," and somebody basically gives them permission to come in.
Permission to come in now. So if that's the system that we will operate under, and everybody's agreed to it, except when it comes to us, I think we just want what's everybody else get. We want an equitable share of everything that's in America. Whether it be the economy, whether it be the justice system, whatever. And if that's how you operate with other communities, that's how you should operate with us.
Yeah. Facts. I agree.
I'm not here espousing hate to nobody. Nobody can say Tony said got on here and said we should kill her. No, that's not what I'm saying. All I want is what everybody else got.
Everybody got. Yep. That's it. That's it.
And what makes it the most fucked up is we the only ones who can demand that. And they tell us, no, you can't have that. Everybody else can demand that. You can come from any other part of this world and come to this place and do that. But if we decide that we want to demand that, they start shitting on us. That's the problem.
There's ways to stop. Lawmakers, Democratic Party. You claim you represent us, but anytime we have issues, you don't represent us.
Oh, they full of shit, man.
Cities that are run by you are the worst cities in America. So if that's the case and you want our vote, do this for us, whatever that is, whatever your issue in your community and your city is, or by and large, if we getting on board with reparation, let's go ahead and say that. But whatever your issue is in your community, when you go to that party that claims to represent you, if they do not acquiesce to that, do not vote for them. I don't give a fuck what nobody say about my ancestors. My ancestors didn't die for me to have a right to give my vote to just anybody.
I agree, Tony. I believe, because my thing is, as black people, at what point are we just gonna let the house burn down?
Yeah,
that's the way that I look at it.
I think we're going through it now.
At one point, do we just say, you know something? You can't have our vote. Just let shit get fucked up. Because the fact of the matter is, stuff been fucked up for us all along anyway, so it don't really matter.
It ain't changing for us.
Right. That's why I'm like, why worry about it? I've had people say that to me, but if you don't vote this way, this can happen. And I'm like, but wait a minute, we've been voting this way for how many decades? So at what point do you make them make them suffer so that they have to look at you and say, well, if we don't give them something, we'll never be in power again.
Yep.
We never do that. So that's why it never changes. We always fall for the okie dokie.
So we let them put up a boogeyman. They told us Trump was a boogeyman in 2020. We voted for Biden. Now we're in a worse economic state than we were in 2020.
Right.
Here in Georgia, they told us Kemp in 2016. They told us Kemp was the first thing that happened for the state of Georgia. What did Kemp do? Now he ain't done a lot for black people. He ain't done nothing to us. As a matter of fact, and that bill to make this a constitutional state, which benefited us.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't criminalize by owning a gun.
Well, somebody was some things with because I'm not just against anybody because they say they're a Republican or whatever. I'm a true independent. If you got a policy or something that I believe is gonna work and that I like, I'm gonna be with your ass.
I'm gonna roll with it.
I don't care what side of the aisle that it is. And the problem is that especially the black community have been duped into thinking that only the Democrats have anything good to do for black people, which is not true, because there are some Republican stuff. Like I live here in Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. In Ohio, this is a red state. I can't say that I'm unhappy with what goes on here in Ohio in terms of where I live and how I am. You know, like, all politics is local.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I'm unhappy with that, because just because you have a few fringe people in whatever particular party, and both parties have them, I can't say that all of those politicians in that party are bad. Now, I still say fuck a Republican and fuck a Democrat because I'm an independent. But until you show me that your policy is good, then I can rock with you. And I don't care what party you're with. You could be a Republican, a Democrat, who are them other people?
Libertarian.
Libertarian, don't matter. If I can rock with your policy, I can rock with your policy. But we too busy thinking that only a Democrat can do something to help the black community when they haven't done nothing to help the black community. What they do is every time is they skip over anything that we need and give it to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they the same. You know how you talk about trickle down economics is bullshit. It's trickle down whatever trickle down policy that's supposed to get to us in terms of, and it never does. Everybody else benefits from it more than we do.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro, and I will preface it to say I'm not anti-Hispanic because all immigrants are not Hispanic, but I am anti-immigration. I tell anybody, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it because it displaces people. They did not just black people,
Tony,
but all people that are native to America.
Tony, I agree with you. I totally agree. When I get to, if you certain parts of my politics, you know how I rock.
Oh yeah, I know.
Certain parts of my politics, if I were to start talking about them, they'd be like, Zach is the most bigoted, racist person in the world. No, because I am a Black American first.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that I know. I'm not from Africa. I'm from Queens, goddamn, from House. I'm a Black American. That's what I am first, and I have to look out for American people first. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else does that. You go to any other country in the world.
Oh yeah, they're gonna look out for theirs.
They look out for theirs first.
But if we do it, something wrong. If you're an American and you say I'm looking out for American people first or American values or interests first, they get upset with you about it. That's bullshit.
I tell anybody I'm not anti anything.
Nope.
I am only here to hold America accountable for everything that they say they are. Yep. Every principle and belief that you say this system is for, I am about all of that. I went to war. I went to war on 3 different continents.
Mm-hmm.
To defend what you say you're about.
Yep.
So when I come back here and I see that you're not upholding that for a certain segment of America, for a certain population group, I take issue to that.
Yep.
And you have every damn right to, because you went somewhere and shed some skin, left some skin over in some places that most people ain't gonna go.
Right. Absolutely.
They say I've been told, oh, you're anti-American. How? I am 4th generation military. 4th. Since black people have been allowed to serve in the military, there has been a member of my family on both sides that has served.
Yeah, I've served on mine too.
4 generations. So you would never tell me I'm anti-American. I am everything that you say this country is supposed to uphold.
There are no other people that live in this country that are more American than Black Americans, and that is the truth.
And the reason why I say that,
there's nobody else. There's no more patriotic people in this country than us. People can say whatever they want. There's nobody more patriotic than us. Nobody.
I'm gonna hit everybody with something, and the people realize this. The first person to shed blood in defense of this country was a black man named Christmas fucking Adams.
Yeah, and you know something? They don't teach that stuff no more. You know what my son knows?
We have shed blood for this country since its inception, and we have never been on a large scale. We have never been able to enjoy that.
You know how they talk about
able to enjoy the privilege.
You know how they talk about the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of. That tree of liberty, the first blood on that tree of liberty was Crispus Attucks, was a black man. And nobody never talks about that. That's why I said there's no people in this country more patriotic than we are. After all of the shit that we done been through here, we still rocking with this motherfucker. When by rights, if we burn the motherfucker down, we have every right to do it with the way we get treated. You build this shit, and then they exclude you from everything that you built. Nobody should be more angry than us.
And my thing is, even with the military, you know, I'm not like Hot Tub said. It's crazy how military, these guys and these women and served their country, and they come back and they're homeless. Why are we not taking care of our veterans? I just don't understand that concept.
Because they have no more use for us.
Right.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
Once you have outlived your usefulness in America, we throw you away.
Oh,
that's capitalism.
Yeah.
You have a whole lot of different things that diverge when it comes to this. And that's capitalism. Once your usefulness and you're not useful anymore, it's the same reason why we do our seniors a certain way. Because they're not useful anymore. After a while, you just become what they would consider to be a drain because you get Social Security and you do other things and there's stuff that have to be taken care of because you're an older person. There's not in capitalism. There's no moral compass. The only thing in capitalism that matters is that you're useful and that we can make something of it. Once we can't do that anymore, capitalism doesn't care about you anymore. Yeah. That's what that's all about.
Now, for me, I'm gonna say this because, like I say, I don't want. We got people that are not black people in this community. We love y'all and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I put a lot of onus on y'all too. I don't believe that none of y'all are on that wavelength that a lot of other people that are against us are. But I will say this: it's incumbent upon you to talk to, somebody that's like that. It's incumbent upon you to say something and speak out against them.
I believe in us having allies and accomplices. That's what I believe. And if you rock with me, you fuck with me, you should be willing to sit back, listen to what I have to say, and understand it. I'm not coming at you. You should be able to be empathetic to me, and you should be able to look at the other guy who's over there doing shit that you're not doing, who look like you, and say, "Hey, why are you doing that to my brother over there? Why are you doing that to my friends over there?" I believe it's your responsibility, especially if you're someone who's quote unquote woke, understand what the hell goes on in this country. Yeah. It's your responsibility to do that. That's what I think.
It is. It's incumbent upon you to do that, because if you truly my friend, if you're truly my ally, what I'm saying shouldn't bother you. I'm not talking about you personally.
Yeah.
And let's understand all of the bullshit that's heaped upon us as a community. Y'all have the power to stop it overnight.
Oh yeah.
Just by telling your counterparts no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I fall into this thing, Tony, where the people that fuck with us, and what ends up happening is we throw around the racism word a lot. I don't think that everybody's racist, but I think most people just don't give a fuck because they don't have to.
Yeah.
That's what it's just right. They're just indifferent about it. They don't have to deal with it. It don't bother them. They're like, why should I have to put my neck out? That's what it is. But that's why stuff won't ever really have some sort of change, because the people who are I'm going to say perpetrators, even if you're not the one that's actively doing it, if you look like them and you roll with them and you get into them circles and them rooms that a person that look like me can't, it's your job and your responsibility to get in there and, fuck with that system and fuck it up. Let them know, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just how I look at it. I don't look at everybody being racist. I think there's some people. I think some people just don't give a fuck because they don't have to.
Don't have to deal.
Now I know it's people that I know for a fact out of this community that really rock with that will go in there and say, hey man, don't say that shit. You ain't finna do that and say that around me.
Right.
But my question is to those people, are you doing that within your family?
Yep.
Because that's a hard pill to swallow when you got to look at Papa and Mimo and Mama and Daddy and
say
brother,
that
sister or in-laws that every word out their mouth is nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, and check them. It's a hard thing to do, and also it's a hard, and I'll admit it's a hard thing for them to do, to say I'm gonna give up all these privileges, because everybody knows that there's privilege. Am I willing to give up all my privilege to do what's right?
What's right? Yep.
That's a hard thing to ask somebody to do. But if
privilege
you really rock with me, you wouldn't have no
privilege
issue.
doesn't mean, to clear this up, privilege doesn't mean you got money or you got this or you got that. The fact that your skin can get you in certain doors just cause is a privilege. That's the thing that I always hear from people. We grew up this way, we grew up that way. Yeah, okay, you grew up this way and that way, but you still had a privilege over me that I didn't. I grew up that way, and I had some extra bullshit piled on top of me because my skin was brown. You had some shit. At least there was some shit that you could walk into and get into because of how you look. And that's why. I just want to dispel that whole. We don't have no privilege. I was poor just like you. No, but you still had a privilege. I don't care if you was poor. There was shit that you could still do being poor white that I couldn't do being poor black.
Yep.
That's just that's America. But people don't want to. People don't want to talk about that. They don't want to have these conversations.
Well, I mean, these are honest conversations. These are honest conversations that need to happen. I'm glad Skillet got the courage to have these conversations. They're uncomfortable to a lot of people.
Right.
I don't mind uncomfortable conversations. I relish them.
That's where stuff gets done, man. Diamonds are made by pressure and heat. They ain't made because they just sit on the side. They just all of a sudden turn into a diamond. You need some heat and some pressure. You know, precious stone. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. People are just scared nowadays. Like I said, everybody too sensitive.
Yeah,
because what you'll find out is a lot of common ground with everybody.
Right.
And more times than not, we got the same common enemy.
And that's that whole separation between the two. They don't want you to talk, because when you sit down and talk and you start saying, hey, we agree on 98% of this stuff.
Right.
So why are we fighting each other? We should be fighting this motherfuckers over here who trying to do us both dirty.
Yeah.
They don't want you to do that.
That's it. You bucking the system. They don't like that. when you
Well, usually, and it comes down to having to kind of dovetail it back to what Kyrie and Kanye and even Nick Cannon went through. Your money don't insulate you.
No, it doesn't.
So you're gonna have to have the courage to stand up and speak on what's right and not understand. Hey man, it's gonna come with some consequences when you do. Are you prepared for it? Are you economically prepared for it?
That's it.
Have you insulated yourself economically enough to be able to say what the fuck you want to say?
And that's what ends up happening with a lot of people who do say what they want to say, because they got that fuck you money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it don't matter. Whatever you want to, whatever's coming, you can take away from me, because it ain't matter. Me and my next 2 generations are set. So do whatever it is that you want to do, and you do get people like that. And that's why I sort of wonder about, like, with Kanye, if he was just like, you know something, fuck it, I got fuck you money, I can do what I want.
he misunderstood with his fuck you money. You got contract money. Contract money, fuck you money is 2 different things.
But you know what? I would say this: Kanye West kind of, to me, kind of set himself up to know that if I do this, because in one of his songs earlier in his career, he said he called this out. He said something about if you say something, the white man to take it away from you. So he kind of, once he did that, I kind of knew, because he kind of said that. And I think it's Radio. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Radio is when he said that. So once he did it, he saw that was pulling. He kind of already predicted, or if I say something against somebody, I already know what the industry is going to do to me.
Well, if that's the route you want to go to, and this don't just apply to one, this applies to all of them. If that's the route you want to go to, you got money all in these companies and shit. Start quiet. You don't have to announce it. That's the worst thing that they do, is announce they move.
Right.
You don't have to announce, just slowly start cashing in your stock options in the money. Get liquid as fucking possible.
I think it's 2 things going on with Kanye. I think Kanye done already told us. We already know the boy got some stuff going on.
Yeah, he got mental illness.
He got mental illness, and I think that's what. And I think is that I don't think he have anybody around him that's giving him any real good advice.
Yeah.
Because you can say and think what you want. It's a way that you present it. It's because it's just about strategy. It's not about not being who you are. It's about being strategic, because you still want to be able to leave that with as much as you can, so you can sustain yourself when you're not there anymore. I heard Russell Simmons. He made it was a good statement. I can't remember exactly what he said when he started talking about, because he didn't condemn Kanye. The way he started talking about it was from the standpoint of how now Kanye being able to move and leave. He didn't think he did it kind of screwy. But the fact of the matter is, if you had left the right way with those resources and stuff that you have, you can now, here you are. You can come that community that you love. You can create for that community.
Yeah.
You can actually take those resources and build something, so that you don't have that other community that you're just saying fuck them. I don't need them anymore, because you can build something where you don't need them anymore. But there has to be a strategic way in how you have to move. I'm all for just being like fuck it. You know me. I'll be like fuck you in a minute. That's how I am. But I also know that in certain instances, you have to be smart the way that you move, because you have to think about the long game. You got to play chess. You can't play chess.
Yeah, exactly.
If y'all notice anything about when we had these discussions, I'm big on local elections. I'm big on local politicians. Bill Cosby couldn't have been prosecuted if you'd have got a judge in your pocket, if you'd have got a DA in your pocket, like every other community does.
He never should have been prosecuted anyway, because he had a deal already.
Regardless of the fact that if he'd invested some money into, I'm gonna put these 2 judges in place. You don't need a whole lot, just need a couple. I'm gonna put some money behind this DA. That's what the mob did. That's how the mob got to be big controllers of Hollywood, controllers of Las Vegas, because they bought the local politicians early in the game. Having money don't mean shit if you ain't got no fucking power.
But buying, and for anybody who's thinking, oh, that's something wrong, buying politicians and judges and shit like that is the American way.
And that's been since
goddamn.
What you think corporations do? All these motherfuckers in Washington right now. That's why a motherfucker put out a book and they sell 1 copy, and then some company somewhere and buy 100,000 copies and get this motherfucker a check. That's the American way. That's how America runs. When you want something, you buy a motherfucker off.
Yeah.
Kanye would have been more effective if, instead of you saying it, I'm gonna buy a media company and I'm gonna pay them to say what I want them to say.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm gonna buy these local politicians That way, at least in my city that I stay in, you can't touch me.
Right. Right.
And if you do that, if you keep your mouth fucking shut, we ain't got the hoop and holler that we too loud as a people. We way too fucking loud.
It's bad strategy, Tony. That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Bad strategy.
Just do the shit. Use that $1 billion economy that you, the $1 billion that you got sitting on, but start buying our people quiet. Before they know it, when they want to come at you, if you do say something sideways, you woke up and you didn't take your meds one day and you say something sideways, at least you have your economic base covered and your political base covered. Now you're just dealing with the court of public opinion, and as long as you have the respect of your people, you ain't even got to worry about that.
Exactly, because your people gonna rock with you. But that's what they don't. It's like a lot of people. I don't know if they know who Dr. Claude Anderson is. I know you know who he is.
They know.
His thing, Powernomics is listen. You buy you some politicians or you lease them. You buy them or you lease them for what it is that you need to do with them. And
thank you, Southern Bell, for coming through.
Bye, Southern Bell.
Bye, Southern Bell. That strategy that he's given is the American way. That's all it is. That's what you buy the politicians that you want, so they do what it is that you want, because they know they're gonna get money from you. That's why they never do anything for us, because ain't enough of us buying them off. If we did, they would.
Well, I mean, even with that, Zach, you buying our people that you didn't bring to the table. They go deeper than just buying them off. I'm gonna vet and put up my own candidates and put our own money behind them.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I may not, I know me. There's too much shit out there on me for my track record for me to run. But I would find somebody like a Zach or a Skillet and put $5,000 or $6,000 behind y'all. Go run this for me, bro. I can't do that. They're gonna start digging back.
But that's what they do. That's why you find these people who just pop up out of nowhere. I'm gonna give you the perfect example. Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a small town politician who went and stood up and gave a speech, and them people looked at him and said, "You know something? We want that guy. No matter what you think about him." And they decided we was gonna put money behind him, and we're gonna make that man be who we wanted him to be. And that's why he ended up becoming the president and having 2 terms like that, because they decided that's what he wanted.
That's also why he didn't do anything
for us. That's why
he wasn't beholden to us. We didn't put him there.
Exactly. He was beholden to them other groups. And that's exactly why he didn't do nothing. Exactly.
So, I mean, you know, but like I say, these conversations that we don't have, and we should be having, you know, a lot of us can do a lot of things. It don't even require you to put up a whole lot of money. Hey, man, instead of buying this gun this month, put that money towards the candidate you feel like that got a shot at winning.
That's it.
Instead of buying Jordans this month, hey, man, I'm going to put this $200-$300 towards this candidate over here. And then once you do that, and you make it, you can put notes in your contributions. You don't tell them nothing, but you owe us.
Right.
They understand what that means. They understand that I'm beholden to. It don't cost much. You could buy a mayor for $30,000 in a small city. That's not a lot of money.
You insulate yourself locally. If you can't do it on a national level, insulate yourself on a local level. So you always have a home base, somebody to fall back where they're gonna take care of you.
I know everybody. There's a lot of people who may know who he is, but a lot of people may not. Big Meech.
Yeah.
When Big Meech moved down to Atlanta, and I know he's a drug dealer and drugs are bad, and everybody knows all that, you know, so I'm not endorsing it. But I'm just stating the fact of what he did. The first thing he did when he came to Atlanta was bought off the city council, bought off the fucking mayor, bought off the district attorney. They had to the feds had to come get him. Because he was insulated. Y'all too wrapped into him on the state level to get him out of here. That's a smart move. But when you start making those moves, if you're loud about it,
that's gonna get you every time.
Take notice. Just sit back and let your money do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, be quiet.
That was the thing I was watching. I watched Chappelle's monologue last night, and I think that was one of the most profound things that he said was when he talked about Trump and how Trump just basically blew up the spot on everything. Yeah, you know how I know? Because I paid y'all off. Because I know how I paid y'all and what y'all did for me. That's how I know. He told her. He said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
And you want to know the funny thing is, if he knew how to shut the fuck up and wouldn't say the quiet part out loud, you know they still be loving him and kissing his ass. But he don't know how to shut the fuck up. He's too much of a narcissist.
Yep.
In politics, there's nothing wrong with being dirty as long as you're quiet about it.
Quiet. Yeah.
You can't tell all the business. Once you start telling all the business, then you start making all enemies. Then you start finding out that everybody's fucked up. That's the issue. Everybody knows it's there, but you can't say nothing about exactly. Move in silence. What are you supposed to do? That's a smart.
That's it. And then if we make small moves, small incremental moves, we don't have to do nothing extra. We don't have to march. We ain't got to sit up hoop and holler. Hey man, we just let our moves show for us. We step away from your party. You get 90% of our vote, 98% of our vote. Hey man, let's just step back.
Right.
Yep.
Let's sit this one out. That's
what I say. I say let the house burn down.
Mm-hmm. It's not nothing that can. There's nothing that can be done to us that has not already been
done.
Don't let them put up no boogeyman. This way, you better vote because this one here bad. The last 6 or 7 was bad. So
right.
Because what they did this time, the boogeyman was the Supreme Court. That was the boogeyman. That's why things went a certain way this time in the midterm. Supreme Court was the boogeyman. And when you look at the demographics of what came about in terms of voting and everything, women got pissed off. They got mad because some motherfuckers told them that they couldn't have control of themselves. That's why shit didn't go a certain way this time. I've been looking at that. And that's why stuff went a certain way. Because by all right, what happened this last election was historic. If anybody pays attention to history, the party that's in control during the midterms always loses 30, 40 seats, shit like that.
Yeah.
That didn't happen this time because of who's in control in the court, and because you can't take a right away from people that you've been giving them the whole time and think that they're just gonna be all right. That's why. Then you gotta they picked a bunch of bad candidates too. So because I like divided government. I don't like the one government host. I like divided government. I don't like to have every one party running everything. I don't like that. To me, that doesn't make things move right.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Well, y'all, man, it's been a good time. I done dug a hole in the backyard because my daughter lost both her birds, so we're gonna go.
Okay.
You know, Still and Snowy was the 2 birds. Died a couple weeks ago, so we're gonna go and go bury them in the backyard. She wanted me to build a box and put them in, so gotta go bury the birds.
Bury them deep. They don't stink.
Okay. So man, thank y'all, especially Hot Tub Tony, especially Fat Guy with Guns coming through, chopping it up. I do appreciate you guys every time y'all come in the live, especially when we have discussions like this.
I like these conversations.
Yeah.
A good thing, to kind of talk about it and kind of get your opinion. Everybody, we're not going to agree with everything, but respect is respect. As long as you give me my respect, then we can have a conversation. So.
Yeah, we're not robots. We're not supposed to agree on everything. We're supposed to have different thoughts and stuff. But at the end of the day, I believe we got the same goal. We should anyway.
Yeah, we should. What's going on, Coy? I ain't see you just drop in. What's going on, my brother?
So, Coy.
Good, Coy.
Armel, Governor. What the hell is his name?
Governing. I don't know that's different to me. Governing. I don't know that person.
Well, thank you for coming through, brother. It's my first time seeing them. Come back some more. Appreciate you. But Ray Official, what's going on, brother? Thank you for hopping through.
What up, Ray?
Yeah, man. Look, and to anybody that may feel a certain type of way about what we said, and if we offended you, I mean, good. was not our intent to do it, but if you feel that strongly about it and you disagreed and didn't come up on this panel to defend your point, then just stay mad.
That's why I say there's no reason to be offended. If you fuck with us, then you fuck with us. There's no reason to be offended. If you know I'm not talking about you and I'm not talking about you, no reason. If you feeling some type of way, then maybe you need to reconsider your feelings or reconsider your views. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I see things the way that I see it. If for some reason I'm on a point and I'm wrong about that point, then I may have to relook at it. But if you feel a certain way and you think what I'm saying is wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. Because if you can tell me why I'm wrong and I can see logically that I'm wrong, I'm a man. I'll be like, yo, shit, I was wrong about that shit. I need to change my thought process on it. That's just me.
I go through this every day. We of course have these conversations every day. Sometimes he be right, and I got to look at some of the stuff I say.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm not gonna be moved on this, and I'm gonna stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to at least have a conversation. I'm willing to listen to your point of view, and maybe it is something I can get off your point of view. I'm not all right, but at least have the conversation. At least come up here and say what's on your mind. Ain't nobody gonna look at you no different as long as you respectful of how you say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You can have this conversation to disagree with us all day. That's the beauty of America, bro.
Right.
Because ain't many places in the world that you can say that.
That's true. You say some of the shit we done said. You say that somebody been knocking on my door 15 minutes ago, come drag me out of this house.
And as long as we got that right to say whatever the fuck we want to, yes, we do have that right. It does come with consequences, but we do have that right. I'm gonna exercise that right, and I suggest you do as well, no matter what your point of view is.
Right.
So, but I appreciate Skillet and Zach, and especially Skillet, bro, because you got the balls enough to have these conversations on your platform. You have a lot of comfortable conversations. So
well, I feel that you have to. You know, only way we're going to get by is having these conversations. You know, with other Vanessas in the conversation. You know, and I salute to and they're always on my platform. Every time I go there, they're probably the first two that pop in. Between the first 2 out of the 5 that pop in. That's Jason and Shannon Ewing.
Oh, so that's beautiful couple.
Awesome.
Beautiful couple.
Awesome. And they always are in here to have these conversations. And they say what they want to say, and that's fine. You know, as long as they're not disrespectful, we're not disrespectful to them. And that's just what I believe in. And that's why I have these conversations and I do these conversations. Because I think it's something that America don't want to have. But at the same time, somebody has to have that conversation.
They don't want us. They don't want us to talk, like Hopper said. They don't want us to talk because if we start talking, we start realizing, well, shit, we agree on so much other shit. It's the other bullshit that they give to us that fucks with us. So we start talking. I've had that happen. The funny thing is, that's a gun got me to do that. sitting down and talking with people that I would never talk to, but because I got this gun and you got this gun, and we started to have a conversation based around that. And then we started talking about other things. I'm like, well, shit, I've been looking at you a certain way my whole entire life. But I finally sat down and talked with your ass, and now I see that there's some shit that we agree on. There's some place there that we can move in some certain areas. But they don't want us to do that. Because if we have any sort of agreement, then like I said, that makes us look at the motherfuckers who really are the enemy. And usually it's not the guy standing next to you. Sometimes more times than not, it's not the guy standing next to
you. Yeah. You got to be willing to have that conversation and be open. Be open. Be open and understanding, but also know that you stand. Where you stand is where you stand.
Got to rip the Band-Aid off for it to heal, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. So, man. Thank y'all, man. Let me get back here and bury these birds with my daughter. I've been prolonging this the last week and a half, 2 weeks. She about ready to kill me. So let me get back here and bury these birds.
Tell your daughter we sorry for her losing the birds, man.
That's right. You send out condolences.
Make it for short. Make a funeral for him and do it as a short.
Yep.
Okay, I will. I will. No problem. All right, man. Thank y'all, man. Again, man. Everybody have a safe week. Make sure you protect yourselves at all times. Women, it's coming up to Christmas season. Me personally, I hate getting out there, but I will get out there with my wife if she's want to do big Christmas shopping. But the ones that do it alone, please pay attention to what's going on around you. get off them phones. Y'all are easy targets during the Christmas season. Men and boys are out here looking for y'all. When you don't have a significant other, a brother, or a dad, or your boyfriend, husband, if they not with you and you got a large amount of things, you are a target. So
even if you're with somebody, the wolves don't care. Even if you're with somebody, everybody keep your head on the swivel, watch your six, all that other good stuff. Even if it don't matter, when the wolves want to eat, it could be 10 of you, maybe 15 of them. There's a problem. Just keep your head, keep your wits about you.
So everybody be safe.
Shop one store at a time. Don't leave stuff in your trunk. Drop it off at the house.
Exactly.
Yep, there we go. Word of advice from an OG: take it home before you go to another one. And thank y'all, man. Love y'all. Peace. I'll catch y'all next week, man. Be safe.
Peace, man.